And now you can see the Backseat Mogul Show in all its video glory on our YouTube page at roughedge.tv. It's tiki time at Harbor Cove Cafe. Dive into the tropical paradise at the end of Spinnaker Drive in Ventura with vibrant drinks, delicious bites, award-winning fish and chips, and more. Now featuring extended hours and happy hour, Fridays from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday and Sunday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Harbor Cove Cafe, the hidden treasure at the end of Spinnaker Drive. Visit harborcovecafe.net for more information.
Showbiz is a cruel and shallow money trench, a long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps run free and good men die like dogs for no good reason. There's also a bad side.
This is the Backseat Mogul Show, and we've had a rough morning. But we're here now, we're live, and I think everybody's working. Looks good. So this is the Backseat Mogul Show. I am our Scott Bolton. I am the Backseat Mogul. This is the show where we talk about showbiz, and we got a lot of good reviews today, a lot of great movies that we saw this week. And one very interesting thing I want to talk to Jeff about in particular here, but we'll get to that shortly. Johnny D sitting over there.
Hello, good morning.
Good. I said good morning.
Yes.
I don't think I did. Good morning. Jeff's over here. Jeff Genet.
Good morning, Jeff. Hello. I do hear echo.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody else does, so we're okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, let's start. Jeff has some news that he read this morning that I had not heard. Let's find out what's going on with Indiana Jones.
Yes, I have heard rumors from multiple sources that Disney is in talks to reboot the Indiana Jones franchise. They're going to let the series rest for a little bit, and apparently they have talks to maybe announce the reboot at the next year's D23. I mean, it's kind of like you knew it was going to happen eventually, I guess. But
yeah, you don't leave a $2 billion product sit in the shelves. You know,
Yeah.
if they've already made $2 billion off it, and I'm just throwing that number out. It might be more, it might be a little less.
Yeah.
But you don't let it just sit there. It's not a surprise. It's just a disappointment.
Yeah, I think with the failure of the last movie, they were thinking about possibly rebooting it. I know they were trying to set it up multiple times how to continue the franchise without Harrison Ford, and they just released a game that was actually really successful.
Yes. And the guy who did the voice
and
I hear that the guy who did the voice of Indiana Jones did a great job.
I haven't played it yet because I want to buy the collector's edition because it has this cool globe with all the little dots and stuff.
That's fun.
But I haven't played it yet, but I heard from multiple people that it's better than the last two Indiana Jones movies that came out.
That's what I've heard too.
So that has kind of given Disney the I guess the courage to keep this franchise going and to continue it with someone else.
Is it a reboot? Are they talking about a reboot or a new adventure?
It'd have to be a reboot, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
because
they're not going to continue with Harrison Ford because he's too old. But
even though Harrison Ford said nobody will ever play that role but him, and I loved when he said that because he's probably right. I mean, at least play it the way he did.
Yeah.
But I also know he doesn't have the power to stop it. So
yeah, and it's unfortunate because I feel like there's certain movies you don't remake. Like you won't remake Jaws or you won't remake Back to the Future because you just can't do it. But I feel like Indiana Jones, yes, I would like to see more Indiana Jones, but I can't see Indiana Jones with anybody else.
Right.
Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones, and it's not like you're remaking the movie that's the crime. It's replacing who it is.
Yeah.
That's the crime.
You can do that with James Bond and things like that, but Harrison Ford envelops that role. He enrobes it. It's no, I can't imagine anybody else either.
They got to bring a grown-up Short Round in.
I'm sure Short Round will make a return because
it's going to be the same guy.
That guy is so popular right now and deservedly so that I would love to see that happen again. He doesn't have to do it though. He's got enough roles now. He's tied in with Michelle Yeoh, who is about as successful can be. He doesn't need it. I don't know how I feel about this. It's one of those things. I'm with you. I want more Indiana Jones, but I just can't imagine anybody. I mean, they were talking about Chris Pratt being Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I remember that a couple of years.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's not the same, man. It's just not. There's only one Harrison Ford, and that's it's a sad thing about it.
The TV series, who played Indiana Jones?
There was one of the Phoenixes, wasn't it?
No.
That was
no,
in
this was a grown-up one.
Last Crusade. The intro part to Last Crusade was River Phoenix, but you're talking about the Adventures of Young Adventures of Indiana Jones.
Yes,
I don't remember who that was, but he was like in his 20s or something, because that was talking about before World War I or World War II, when he was going through all these different events and stuff.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad series either, but it just again, it's you get hooked on Harrison Ford for that role, and I don't. Maybe they're going to CGI him. I mean, they can do a whole movie with CGI these days. Maybe they'll do a whole AI version of Indiana Jones.
They started doing it with commercials. 10-15 years ago.
Yeah, and the first like 30 minutes of Dial of Destiny was CG'd.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They smoothed his face out to make him look younger and what have you.
And that was awesome.
Yeah, it worked really well.
Yeah.
I liked that movie. I'm sorry.
I did too.
Yeah.
None of my other friends liked it, and they all hated me.
I know.
But I thought it was really good.
I had the same situation.
Yeah.
I loved it. I read an article right before I went to see it, and this helped a lot. And he was talking about Crystal Skull. And he says that a lot of people didn't like Crystal Skull because all of a sudden at the end there's aliens and he goes, but there's always something like that in Indiana Jones. Do you think that the Ark really has ghosts flying around in it? Do you really think that the chalice has these powers? And I didn't think of that along those lines,
We should go find the Ark and get somebody to open it.
Yeah, we'll give you the Indiana Jones costume. So anyway, let's see, I lost my train of thought because of this. It's not fun, John. It really does. Never mind. My point was that you can't have Indiana Jones without. We were talking about Chris Pratt, right? Is that where we were?
Yeah.
I'm completely lost now.
It's okay.
I'm gonna just. Oh, I'm not.
You have a long reach.
I can walk around.
He would throw something.
Anyway.
No, actually, he wouldn't because of what's behind me.
Dear God, man, would you just for a minute?
I think you were at Crystal Skull. People were saying the suspension of disbelief.
Thank you. I read the article. Yes, that was exactly. Thank you. Thank God Jeff's here. So I read this article. This guy said, so why are you so upset that aliens show up at the end of Indiana Jones when you know that there's going to be that element of supernatural or something else happening in Indiana Jones movie? And I thought, he's kind of right. I never thought of it that way. Now, I haven't gone back and watched it again. But it helped me with the last one because I expected it. And I loved what they did at the end of the last one.
I think for me, and again, a lot of people were like, what are you talking about, Jeff? Did you even watch these movies? But I think for me, the first few movies, there is a level of realism to what happens at the end of those movies to where he can kind of almost discount, like, well, I don't know, do I remember it that way? Like it's almost, you could kind of like push it off. When you see crazy stuff, I mean, I've been in a lot of haunted houses and stuff.
Yeah.
I can kind of brush off a lot of stuff. And, well, maybe that didn't happen. But when you see these things, there's a way you can disprove it to yourself. And I feel like the audience has that as well, to where there's like, well, this is within the realm of possibility. But when you have an alien spaceship under a Mayan pyramid, that kind of breaks that level
I can
of
see
suspension
that.
of disbelief. But I think for Dial of Destiny, you needed something that in your face crazy for him to finally like, oh, okay, well, there's a lot of crazy stuff in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it felt right for his story too, because it was almost like a flip of where he was in Raiders, where everybody loved him. He had so much to do. Everybody needed him.
Yes.
And now it's the complete opposite. And it's just, I don't know. I thought it was a perfect ending for his arc. And while there were complications in the film, things that didn't work out as well, I really did enjoy the themes, at least for the film.
There are really complications in every Indiana Jones film, except for the first one, which I consider one of the most perfect pieces of cinema ever created. It's magical. You can't turn on that movie. You're flipping channels. If that movie's on, you stop and you watch the rest of it. It just engages you, and it's so perfectly edited. The score is so good, and the actors are so good. It's really true cinema magic. It really is. The other one's always, well, I'm not so sure about that, but you push through it, and it's okay. It works because it is an Indiana Jones movie. But I do agree with you about the size and scale of that. Plus the fact that Spielberg didn't want those aliens anyway.
Yeah,
But Lucas had that pull on that, and maybe he shouldn't have. That's all. I noticed you didn't interrupt Jeff the whole time he was talking.
He's closer to me.
That makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got this thing.
Did you see the last Indiana Jones movie?
Apparently not, because I don't remember any of it. And I saw Crystal Skull. I thought that was the last one.
No. Mm-mm.
And I was disappointed in the ending. And up until the ending,
I didn't even mind the CGI monkeys. I kind of enjoy them. They're kind of
Yeah, see, that was another thing. Is you didn't just have the aliens at the end. You had the nuclear explosion at the beginning, the monkeys, the ants, like all this wacky stuff was going on in between.
Yeah.
Whereas in the other movies, you don't have any of that crazy stuff going on at the beginning. It's just the end where it's like, whoa.
Yeah, that's true too.
I think that was another reason.
But I also think it's funny, and maybe you disagree with me. I know a lot of people do. I love the refrigerator scene. I thought that was just a great way for India. I know it's completely and utterly impossible, but that's an Indiana Jones scene. And so I think about that because that was Spielberg's idea.
Yeah.
Spielberg's idea, refrigerator, that's kind of funny. Lucas's idea, aliens, I'm not so sure.
That was also apparently a reference, I don't know how true this is, but to an original, like early concept for Back to the Future. Before the
Oh, really?
They had like this little box you'd get into, and then you had to have like some sort of explosion that would send you back in time.
That's cool.
Now, the alien, the spaceship underneath the Mayan pyramid, that's not the first time that we've had a spaceship that was a pyramid. What was the name?
Yeah, I'm letting you go on this one. You're on your own.
I know it. It was a movie with Kurt Russell, and which later became TV
Stargate.
Stargate, thank you. Because you remember the pyramid was a spaceship.
So they stole the idea.
Somebody.
George Lucas stole the idea? No, he did not steal the idea. It goes back again, though, to who's going to play Indiana Jones. Are they going to do an animated version, maybe, and use that guy's voice? I mean,
Maybe.
Would you go see an animated Indiana Jones? It seems a level down to me.
I think that whatever they do, I think Indiana Jones requires a certain level of care. And if it looks like the care and I think if the care is
And
put
respect.
into it, and the respect, that's the word I was looking for, is put into it, I'll go see it. I'll give it a chance. But they need to be very delicate with it, I think.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And Lucasfilm and Disney haven't really been delicate with Star Wars. And they, like I said, the last movie, while it was good, like I could feel that there were some things going on with that.
Yeah.
So I just don't have a lot of hope for it.
No, I can't imagine anybody even close. I mean, the one person I think of who could maybe pull off Indiana Jones is Kurt Russell, but Kurt Russell's as old as Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I saw.
So
He can play his father.
that was Sean Connery.
I know it. But if they're rebooting it.
Well, that's true. Yeah, and maybe that's what they'll do. Maybe they'll create a new character, but then it's not Indiana Jones.
So he has a secret second son or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or they might make it a female.
There was a
Maybe.
poll, a fan poll, like once people started hearing about this, of who they'd like to play Indiana Jones, and I guess Chris Evans and Glenn Powell were on the top of that list currently.
You know what? Not bad choices, actually. Especially now that I've seen the trailer for Running Man. I didn't know how Glenn Powell would pull off a hardcore action adventure movie. Apparently he's pretty good, just based on the trailer. So, yeah, I can. You know what? Those are two good choices.
And I was even thinking like Ryan Gosling's been in a couple of like comedy action films too. So be able to be close to that.
I think that all depends on how his next movie does, that Hail Mary movie, Project Hail Mary.
Oh yeah.
Because if he has 2 bombs in a row, it's going to hurt. So
Okay, what about Brad Pitt?
he's too old.
I think in his 60s. Isn't he?
Yeah, he's too
Well,
old.
how old is Harrison Ford? The last 2 he did.
He's 81. I don't know. I guess was that a fair guess?
Sure, yeah.
Let's find out real quick,
Yeah,
just for
sure.
curiosity's sake.
Earlier, you guys had mentioned about certain projects they should not reboot.
Uh-huh.
And my favorite all-time movie is To Kill a Mockingbird. That should never be rebooted.
He's 82. That was close.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think you have to worry about that. Except they did a couple of stage versions that I'd like to have seen. Aaron Sorkin wrote them, and I'd like to have seen that.
Stage is one thing, but
Yeah, sure.
for the big screen, no. That movie for me is perfect.
It's another perfect movie. Yeah, very close to perfect. And you were talking about not remaking Jaws or not remaking Back to the Future. Wait till the principals are out of the picture. If Spielberg dies, or what's the director for Zemeckis? If Zemeckis dies, those movies will get remade because but right now they're preventing it. They're saying, no, you're not going to do it. They wanted to take Jaws and do what they did with the Star Trek series and add new special effects into it to make the shark better. And Spielberg said, no, you're going to leave it just like it is, because he did that with E.T. and he hated it. He was not, I don't want to say ashamed of himself, but disappointed with himself at what he had done. And so he said he would never change one of his movies again, and nobody will change it. They will when he's out of the picture.
Well, look what they did with Star Wars when they was it the first one? I can't remember if it's the first one or the second one, where they CGI'd a young
Hayden Christensen.
no
Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, Jabba the Hutt.
Oh.
It just didn't work for me.
It didn't work for a lot of people. That's why those original versions are the original improved versions are like a hot collector's item. I have them, by the way.
I have one of them on Laserdisc.
Do you? Oh, that's right. You said that. Yeah. I always forget you have a Laserdisc player.
I do, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I can't remember Star Wars. Was that based on a book?
True story.
No, I didn't say true story.
Oh, no, it was not.
Oh,
There was a book that came out later. I think, was it Alan Dean Foster that wrote the book based on the
I don't know.
So
screenplay?
it started out as a screenplay.
Yes. Yeah.
But it was based on a lot of like Greek myths and legends and like Shakespeare plays and stuff like that. It took inspiration from a lot of like old stuff.
Which is a perfect segue for us, because first of all, we all agree it's going to be really difficult to remake Indiana Jones, but we hope they do well. Speaking of Greek tragedy and stuff, I finally watched Megalopolis. And I know we've talked about this for the past couple of weeks. I finally sat down and I have to hand it to Jeff, because he went to the theater and sat through the entire thing. I had to do it in chunks, man.
Oh, really?
I had to do it in chunks. I think it took 3 chunks for me to get through that movie.
I've been wondering what you were going to say about it.
And I wanted to like it so much. You have no idea how much I wanted to like it. But I think, I don't want to say Francis Ford Coppola made a mistake because he made the movie he wanted to make. But if it had been me, I wouldn't have put so much Caesar's era history into a film like that. It freaked me out. If he had done that movie just as a slightly futuristic film, I think it would have worked much better. But because he was all hung up on the Roman era and Greek tragedy and all this, it was too confusing. And it's sad because it's a beautiful movie. Look at these scenes. Just gorgeous photography.
And it was a fantastic cast. I mean,
yes,
lots of great actors in there. And it's kind of wild that you took that many good actors and made them not good actors.
Because it reminds me of what Harrison Ford, speaking of, said to George Lucas. He says, and I know this is a PG show, so we'll just go past this. He said, George, you can write this shit, you just can't say this shit. Because the dialogue, even if you watch Star Wars, there's a lot of really bad dialogue in it. Yeah. And in this movie, these guys are struggling to give it not only bad dialogue, but to give it this Romanesque flavor. And yeah, it just doesn't work at all. And the story is so meandering. I followed the story, And again, if it had been told in a slightly futuristic, like, 5 years in the future, I think it would have been a much better film, because then you didn't have to worry about all the comparison to Rome that he wanted to make. And the funny thing is that you can't find this movie anywhere right now. It's not available on any streaming service. It's not out on disc or anything like that. And the reason is, according to Francis Ford Coppola, that he's taking it on tour, and it's selling out screenings, because it's kind of similar to what's happening in politics today. And he says, it's kind of like he predicted a little bit of the future. And he says that's what people are reacting to. Again, that's just him saying that. I haven't seen it play anywhere. As you guys have seen Megalopolis playing anywhere?
I honestly can't remember if it showed here.
It didn't. Jeff saw it up in Reno.
No, I saw it at the River Park. It only had like one screening. I had to go at like midnight or whatever, and it was just, it was a rough day for me.
It's so disappointing, because I was so excited to see one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, Francis Ford Coppola, there's no questioning that, spend his own money so that he didn't have to say yes to anything he didn't want to do. He made exactly the movie he wanted to make. I don't know why he made it. There was that one big misstep that kind of poisoned the whole thing.
And there were multiple parts where I wanted to walk out, or I checked my watch. Oh my God, I'm like 45 minutes into this. Like, I can't believe it. The part where like he takes off the I don't know if we can do spoilers. Can we do spoilers?
Yeah, I think we can. Nobody can see it anyway.
Okay, well, spoilers. But there's this part where he takes the bandages off, and then like he multiples of himself, and then they do that like Indian sitar. I was like, what are we doing?
What was that? I couldn't figure it out either. Is that like a dream, a drug sequence? What the hell?
And then the ending,
mushrooms.
Yeah,
the ending where the bubble closes in on the baby, and everybody's I thought, this baby winks. And it's the most Looney Tunes-esque ending. Like, I will riot. It was just, I was so angry through the whole thing. But it wasn't the worst movie I saw.
Well, what would that be?
Amelia Perez.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that yet. But like I said, I wanted to like it so much. I couldn't. I tried so hard, and it was a slog. I said, more power to you sitting through it in one screening.
And I tried to understand it. Like, I get he wanted to do like this stage play, almost like one of those epic movies from the 60s where they like 10 Commandments grand scheme thing. I came out of the theater, I'm like, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the dumb one. Like, maybe I'm the problem here. This isn't good, I just, I don't know what happened.
It wasn't you.
Was Megalopolis from a screenplay, or was that from a book?
Original screenplay.
Yeah.
Yep, original screenplay by friends. So again, I want to see what this guy can do when he has no restraints. Apparently, he needs a little restraints. I mean, you should look at Apocalypse Now. There were minimal restraints now, but he still had restraints because a studio was paying for it, right? One of the greatest movies ever made. You look at Godfather 1, arguably the greatest movie ever made. But there were restraints in place that kept him from doing certain things that were off the wall. There weren't many restraints, even on Godfather. I don't know if you've seen that television series about the making of The Godfather with Miles Teller.
I think I have a book about the making of it.
There's a series, I can't remember the title right now, but Miles Teller plays the producer.
Oh, okay.
And it's fascinating and brilliant. It's really a great series. But you see how Bob Evans, I think was the name. Was that his name? Robert Evans. He had to pull Coppola back. It's like, okay. Or sometimes he'd Coppola would say, for example, I want to shoot this in Italy. There wasn't no way the studio was going to let them shoot that in Italy. But Evans went to bat for him, and they shot it in Italy. So there's a little of each world there. But this time he had none of those restraints. Everything he wanted, he just paid for and did. And apparently he's working on another one. And more power to him. He's worth well over $1 billion because of the movies and because of his wines and all that. He can afford another $100 million. And maybe this time he'll get it right. We'll see. That's all we can do. So anyway, that was Megalopolis. Finally saw it. Glad I did. Wish I hadn't, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, I've brought this up before. Have either one of you seen Arsenic and Old Place?
Sure.
The one with Cary Grant.
Yes.
You got to find that movie. It is.
You'll enjoy it. It's a good one.
Do you think that movie should be rebooted?
No. And here's why.
The way it is.
Because nobody knows it now. It's not the kind of thing that's in common lore. It's like before the show, you're talking to Jeff about all this stuff at Sonny and Cher, and Jeff doesn't know them. But Jeff could throw out names to you that are modern filmmakers that you wouldn't know either, that I wouldn't know. I'd pretend to know so I look cool, but I wouldn't know. So, but it's just, those things have marched on. It's like you keep talking about remaking Matt Helm. It's never going to happen. Nobody remembers Matt Helm except for the people who were fans of it back in the 60s. And it's just not going to happen now. Sometimes they surprise you. I mean, they made that Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie.
I enjoyed that.
Of course you did, because you're a huge Man from U.N.C.L.E. fan. I watched it twice to convince myself I was right. I was right. It's not very good.
I mean, granted, it wasn't what we remember as being the duo, but I enjoyed it.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
All right, so
I want to see them do a Girl from U.N.C.L.E. movie. Who?
Again, not going to happen.
Yeah, but who would you pick to play?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Who? What?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
I'll watch anything with her.
Exactly. My point exactly. All right, so let's move on. Next, we have 28 years later. Jeff already did pretty good review on this. Said that you liked it, probably the best of the later movies until the last 30 seconds.
Yes.
I will agree with you. I thought it was excellent. I thought Ralph Fiennes, I forgot he was in it. He shows up and he nails the friggin' role. Guy's amazing.
You guys are great actors.
He really is. And it was tense. I didn't even mind the running zombies. That took me a while to get used to. But when they started calling it the rage virus, it's like, oh, no, I get it. It's different. And the big blobs wandering around the forest, they're creepy as hell. It was really good. And then, we'll get to that. In the last 30 seconds, these fancy boys appear and jump around on sticks. And I know this is a spoiler, but just deal with it. And beat up zombies. And they're like wearing flashy tracksuits and
they're all blinged out
everywhere. Yeah. And it doesn't fit the rest of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Now, I went with Josh to see this movie, and Josh was shocked, didn't like it, but he figured it out, I think. Mm-hmm. He thinks it was Danny Boyle's tribute to the motorcycle gang in Dawn of the Dead, because they're going through the mall, chopping off heads, having fun, playing, they're just goofing off when there's serious stuff's going on. And that's kind of what these fancy boys, for lack of a better word, were doing in this. It's like they weren't really scared of the zombies, but they were playing with them almost. Mm-hmm. And Josh goes, still doesn't fit in the film, but I think that's what he was trying to do. What do you think about that solution?
I think that makes sense. And I've seen people online talk about how, because those were the kids from the beginning where they were watching Teletubbies and stuff.
I didn't realize that.
I think one of the kids, or two of the kids, whatever, how many kids get out of that? That was the one who was at the end.
Okay.
That was Jimmy or whatever.
Interesting.
And they were saying, well, they're inspired by the TV shows that they watched as a kid, so that's why they're acting this way. They saw the Power Rangers on TV, so that's why they're acting like. I'm like, but yeah, you had Teletubbies on the screen, and you didn't show anything that would remotely relate to that.
It would have been better if it had been Power Rangers.
If it was Power Rangers on the screen, and then you had that at the end, I wouldn't have been so upset, because at least you
made the connection. Yeah,
make that connection. And then people were saying, well, maybe it's an imagination by the kid, because the kid had a Power Rangers action figure in the beginning, and maybe this is how he sees these people.
Oh, like that's a good.
But it's like,
or maybe they're not even there. Maybe the zombies got him, and that was his.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, we should know.
Yeah, and yeah, there was like some weird stretching of like what you have to be able to believe. I mean, like, okay, well, 28 years into the future in the zombie apocalypse, like some standards are going to change, some weird things are going to come out. But there wasn't anything weird enough to like prep you for that kind of ending.
Exactly.
So,
and the music didn't help either, because the music got this poppy rock
just
song.
Felt like a weird shift of the movie that was just like, you didn't gear us up for that.
Yeah.
So that's weird. And I mean, like I said, I saw a lot of British people like, you don't get it because you're not British. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I don't get it.
I don't understand either. It's just weird that it fits there. And I'll tell you this: Josh tells me that there's going to be 2 more movies in the series, and they're going to be released exactly 28 weeks later than these films are, so they'll be spaced out, which is cool. I don't want to see a movie with those guys in it.
Yeah,
I don't think that's not where I want to go with that series. Mm-hmm. And if that's what it turns into, I'm not going to be very happy.
Okay, the first one was called was it 28 days later or 28 hours?
28 days later.
Okay. And then the second one was 28
Months.
And then this is the third one, 28 years. What's the fourth one going to be?
I think it's
centuries?
no. I think it's going to be
28 decades.
28 more days or something like that. Or yeah, because it's 28. And I'm only saying that because I understand that they're going to be 28 weeks is what I meant. 28 weeks apart. So in 28 weeks from this month, there'll be the next one. And I would imagine it'll be 28 weeks more or 20 weeks after, something along those lines to indicate it. And it is hard to keep track of already.
This is turning into like Nightmare on Elm Street, Saw.
It is, but they're much better films. I don't you agree? I mean, those are the nightmare or horror films. These are the film's really about people with zombies in it.
Yeah. The slasher genre like always has this formula. Like by the time you get to the third one, it's always like you're either in a mental asylum with 4 patients or you have a psychic girl in it who has a connection to the killer. Like they always kind of do that sort of trope. So you'd have to look at how zombie movies go with this. So maybe look at the George Romero movies and try to figure out where it's going to go next.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Anyway, I did like it. I was disturbed by the ending, and like I said, Josh was too. He had a good solution, I thought. I liked the idea that maybe he didn't make it. Maybe the zombies got him, and he was wishing in his last moments that those guys were going to protect him. But I don't know, because they weren't clear enough, and that bothered me. All right, so let's move on to our next movie, which we have is F1. F1, the movie, starring Brad Pitt and Javier Bardem. Johnny, why don't you start, because that's your kind of movie.
Go fast.
Thank you. All right, Jeff, what did you think?
Seriously, I quite enjoyed the movie. For me, it was one of those movies, I thought it was too short, although it was a long movie. Because I used to be involved with NASCAR racing. I like the behind the scenes of the racing. You don't have just the driver or the owner or the pit crew. You've got, it seemed like hundreds of people that work for that group getting this car ready, or getting the cars, because they had 2 cars ready, and you see,
and helping them run the race.
Right. You see the behind the scenes, and that's one of the things I really liked about it.
As somebody who's not a big race fan, I was also impressed by that. The fact that they showed you what went on in the background so much, how they showed you that during the race, they're telling the driver what to do. I always thought it was like, hey, we built your car, go run around in circles. And it's obviously, because of technology, much, much more than that. So I know you gave it a thumbs up, John, but is there anything you didn't like about that movie?
Because they actually went around the world to the different Formula One tracks. And one track they didn't do, which is here in the U.S., is in Texas, and it's called Circuit of the Americas, and which is I think it's over a 3-mile road course. And I would have liked to have seen. Well,
how many races are there in the F1 series? Yeah, so if there's 100, they couldn't do 100 races.
No, I understand that, but I just thought it would have been nice. Or
they got Las Vegas in there,
and did they have Miami in there?
I don't remember.
Anyway, all in all, I really liked it. I got to tell you, I was really surprised at the end. And
please don't.
I'm not going to say what it is, but I was surprised at the end.
Okay. Jeff, your thoughts?
I wouldn't have seen this movie had you guys not told me to go see it so we could review it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was probably one of the best movies I've seen this year.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It was really well made. Good acting, good camera work. I enjoyed it from beginning to end. That was great. I recommend it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I would never have gone to see a movie about car racing. But Brad Pitt, okay, I'm in. And then Jerry Kaczynski, the director, okay, I'm in, The guy did Top Gun Maverick. He apparently knows how to make summer blockbusters. And that's what I compare this movie to when people ask me about it, is Top Gun Maverick. Because if you take the stories and kind of run them side by side, they have the same arc pretty much, and the same feel, which is so important, because it's explosive and then there's some drama, and then it's explosive and there's some drama, and it's very similar to that movie in its theme. The I don't want to say elder statesman, but the older person going into a younger person's world and having to teach them and lead them and maybe, sacrifice, teaching them about sacrifice. But that also hurt it a little bit for me because you're talking about the ending. I knew what was going to happen. There was no way they were going to let that happen. And I knew it because it was so much like Top Gun Maverick that had to end that way. And I'm okay with that. That didn't bother me at all because I thought it was an extremely perfect movie. But I do wonder about this. Before the show, we were talking about budgets and how much music cost a license. I can't imagine how much money they paid for licensing. Now, that movie, they say, cost between $350 and $400 million. And a big chunk of that has to be music licensing because you had the classic rock bands like Led Zeppelin. Well, that ain't cheap. You had Rat, maybe a little cheaper. But then you got Ed Sheeran doing a new song. He's like the biggest artist in the world right now. And you got to record a song for your movie? That wasn't cheap. So, but it all worked. And I don't know if you caught this or you, but in the beginning when Brad Pitt's kind of on his own, they're playing the classic rock. They're playing the Zeppelin, the Rat. And then as the movie goes along, the music becomes slowly more modern until you get into the new songs. And I think that also was to show the character drive. Very interesting, but a terrific movie. I loved it. My mom watched it because she is head over heels for Brad Pitt. In fact, this was my mom's review. I know it's going to be creepy, but just get ready for it. She said she likes Brad Pitt because he just exudes sex. And you know what? I'm not disagreeing with her because that dude's pretty hot. Okay, so we all big thumbs up for F1. Yeah, well, terrific movie.
I think it was last week. You may have broke this to us, or somebody did, but I think it was Jeff, about Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt coming together for an F1 NASCAR type
crossover.
Yeah, with Days of Thunder, I think it was.
Well, it works because and again, I don't want to give away the end, so I'm not going to say, but you guys know how it ends on the beach, right? Yeah. He can go wherever he wants. Yeah. So, and by the way, I'll tell you this is so funny. We used to summer, like a rich person. Every summer we would go to Pismo Beach just to hang out. We'd spend a weekend there. My friend had a place there. We'd stay there. And the instant they showed that last scene and it said, Baja, Mexico. I go, no, that's Pismo. And sure as heck, it was Pismo. I recognized the beach instantly.
Now, I don't think this is going to be giving away anything because of what I just said. But somewhere in the movie, I can't remember what part it was, they said that after what happened to his younger version,
yes,
he got into different aspects of racing, and they did mention NASCAR.
Yes, they did. So see, the connection's there. I think that'd be awesome.
Now, if you have not seen Days of Thunder, I recommend it.
I have not seen it. I'm planning on it.
All right, so Jurassic World Rebirth is our next movie. Jeff had already seen that and did a pretty comprehensive review of it last week. Liked it better than the previous one, Dominion. And Jeff, that's his favorite movie franchise. So that's telling you a lot about this movie. John and I went to see it, and I really enjoyed it. I had a good time all the way through. The dinosaurs were different enough, but familiar enough that you got that freshness. Scarlett Johansson is an action movie star. She pulls it off. She was really good in that movie. The score was good because you got it. My favorite scene in that movie is when they're looking down the valley and there's all those dinosaurs and they play John Williams' Jurassic Park theme in all its glory. And I almost teared up. It's like, that's just beautiful. Just beautiful. Yeah, just beautiful. There were parts that, some people made some really bad decisions. Like, I still don't understand why the family, which is the guy who played the Lincoln lawyer, all decided to jump in the water when there's a giant dinosaur with a mouth bigger than their house chasing them. I realized one of them fell, but they all decide, well, we better go back, and they all go to water together. Wouldn't they just been swallowed up?
Okay, when he went into the water, remember when they first got hit?
Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but not. Thank you. No, I'm not going to say it.
Okay, but anyway, that's.
We can always touch on it.
We could do a spoiler. Can we do a spoiler?
Yeah, you can. Just a spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen it, John's going to ruin the whole movie for you right now.
When their sailboat first gets encounters.
Yes.
And remember how he tied on and he went over the side to look at the damage because they were listening. And I think when he went into the water was when they got hit again. And
well, no, I'm talking about the part where they were chasing the big boat.
After they got saved.
Yeah, they're going in the cove.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't understand, because they're all dropping the water. I'm going, there's a friggin' dinosaur behind you. But that bothered me. My biggest problem with the movie is this, though, and maybe they explained it and I missed it, and Jeff pays real close attention to this, and you have some lore you're going to tell us about as well, right?
If you'd like me to.
Yeah, I do. But my biggest thing about the movie is it starts out and they need this dinosaur blood because dinosaurs have this unique thing that helps them lose weight and stay trim and lowers their blood pressure and all that stuff. And they need to get that so they can sell it to the human market and make trillions of dollars. But
for human heart or human
heart disease. But I'm watching that and going, well, that's great, but reptile medicine doesn't work on mammals. Now, maybe they're going to retool it so it goes to mammals. Did they say that? Or because the whole movie, I'm going, this isn't going to work.
I don't know. They just said big heart equals cure for heart disease. And I was like, okay. I didn't really look into the science of that. I looked into different science.
Okay, let's talk about your.
But what were you going to say?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm going to do not so much a follow-up, but there's something else that I'm going to talk about.
There always is, Jeff. There always is.
All right. So on that, yes, reptiles, the flying dinosaur, the Quetzalcoatlus, and the mosasaur, the swimming one, those are reptiles. They're not dinosaurs. The titanosaur, the big one with the long neck, is a dinosaur, therefore related to birds.
That's right. That's true. Still, bird medicine, people medicine, I don't think so. But
the whole thing about which got me was in the beginning, they're like, oh, the dinosaurs are all dying out all over the world. They're like backtracking on this worldwide dinosaur thing. They're like, all the dinosaurs are dying out. They can only survive little places in the equator. You're putting us back on an island. That doesn't work out because a simple Google search would show you that there were dinosaurs that could survive in Arctic conditions of negative 14 degrees. And there were dinosaurs that they lived in the snow year round. Pachyrhinosaurus, Nanooksaurus, which is a smaller T-Rex, Edmontosaurus. There were dozens of dinosaurs that could live in these conditions. Not only that, but life finds a way is a big part of
That's
this.
true.
And it's like they can breed asexually now, but now they can't survive in colder weather, And then the whole thing about there was more oxygen back then. The oxygen in the late Cretaceous wasn't much difference from the oxygen levels that we have now. If you look at like the Jurassic and the Triassic, it was like, or even before that, where there were giant insects, the oxygen was much denser there. And then the temperatures were different. But compared to where these dinosaurs lived, the temperatures and the oxygen wasn't all that different. So it's just that science doesn't make any sense to me personally.
Yeah. You know who wouldn't have made that mistake? Michael Crichton.
Yeah.
he would. No, that doesn't work. You have to figure out something else.
Yeah. And I get you're taking things from the book, like explanations from the book, but the book was written in the 90s when we understood completely different things about dinosaurs. Where the whole thing about them being birds is a hugely debated topic. And now it's like there was so much more that we know about dinosaurs now that, I mean, you could, like, it didn't take me more than 10 minutes to verify this. Like, right, which dinosaurs can live in this? Yeah, there's like a dozen right here. Like, I knew there was a whole exhibit at that museum that I went to that I saw. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. But
is the mammoth considered a dinosaur?
No, because after the extinction,
it's a mammal.
It was they're from the Pleistocene era, so that was 10,000 years ago. Was around, and
And I have a hunch that we're going to see a mammoth again real soon because they keep talking about cloning one, and
I can talk about that because I've been following that since I was.
How close are they at this point?
They are probably like 5 years away, at the very most.
So you have 5 years, folks, before the mammoths take over the earth.
Because back when I was a kid, I think before I was born, even like in the 70s, they had found this perfectly preserved mammoth in the ice, and I think they found another one pretty recently. And I'm not going to go on too long about this, but they had started getting the DNA and sequencing it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this company, you can look it up, Colossal. They just recently brought back the direwolf.
Did they find the mosquito? Encased
No.
in amber?
They've tried it and they couldn't do it. Which dinosaur DNA, the half-life of DNA degrades at a certain rate where you can't get dinosaur DNA anymore. But 10,000 years ago, that works. So you can get mammoth, smilodon, saber-tooth tiger.
There's enough mosquitoes in the world. We don't need to bring them back.
All this other stuff. So that they're working on the dire wolf. They're trying to purify the dire wolf. They're working on the mammoth. They're working on the Tasmanian tiger, thylacine, and the dodo. And then they just announced a couple of days ago they're working on with actually Peter Jackson. We were just talking about Peter Jackson earlier. The southern giant moa, which is like this giant bird, like an ostrich, but like 12 feet tall kind of thing.
As long as they're not bringing back the Tasmanian devil from Dead Alive, we're okay.
Right.
Yeah. I love that stuff. I love that science stuff. It just amazes me. And I mean, I haven't been following it as closely as you have, but that cloning a mammoth has been on my mind for probably 30 years. You know, it just something that's just fascinating to me. And that's why you need to see the Jurassic Park movies and the Jurassic World movies, because that's what's going to happen to us all. So get ready.
What I didn't like about it, I really, really enjoyed that. Johansson's like, wow. But
she's great. She pulled it off. She really did. I bought her as a soldier. I mean, I did.
Who was it that said that those pterodactyl type winged dinosaurs were as big as F-16s? Was that her?
No, that was one of the scientists.
Jonathan Bailey. He also did a great job.
He did. Yeah, absolutely.
I love that line. And that guy, he goes, oh.
Yeah, and they are big. Quetzalcoatlus was, I think, the second or third largest flying reptile.
Can you imagine? I mean, I see the hawks flying around here, and they got like 3-foot wingspans, and they're amazing creatures. Can you imagine an F-16 size one flying above you? Yeah, I'd pee a little bit.
Now,
they could take on a T-Rex, those guys.
I can understand why the land-based dinosaurs can't leave the island. But when you got those that are in the water, what's keeping them around the island?
It's the weather, yeah.
The temperature.
Oh, okay. The one thing that really, I don't want to say it bothered me, but I wonder about. Do you remember in the beginning? Spoiler alert. I can't say it.
If it's a big spoiler or a little spoiler, is it something they've seen in the trailer?
Okay, they go back to the island. It was 17 years later.
Yeah.
Okay, the big guy.
Yeah.
Was locked in behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he survive on for 17 years?
Other dinosaurs.
He was the only one in there. That's
No,
what they
out.
alluded to.
No, that was broken when that's what, remember the beginning where it's kind of like the beginning of Godzilla. That was very similar to the beginning of that Godzilla film. That's when you assume that he broke out there.
Yeah.
Because when the two guys went into that part of the lab,
yeah,
the door wasn't open until I think.
Well, I don't think he went through the door. He went through the dome or whatever they had him in. He broke out from the inside.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was big enough to do that and ugly. He looked like a cross between a dinosaur and something from Resident Evil.
It was based on the Xenomorph, the T-Rex, and a Rancor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? Is that true?
I noticed the small arms.
Yeah. But last thing I'll say, I could go on for a long time about it, but the island also bothered me because the island is located in the Atlantic, where they are doing these testings. The island in this movie, Isla Nublar, where they were transporting all the dinosaurs for the park or whatever. If they're trying to make this mutant dinosaur, which I can assume is the Indominus Rex from Jurassic World,
right?
Is the timeline that up. Why? There's 6 islands that they own that are within 100 miles of each other. There's Isla Nublar, Isla Sorna, which is Site B, and then they talked about the 5 deaths, right? Which is Isla Sorna, and then the 4 other islands: Manceros, Muerto, Pena, and Tacano.
I'm so glad he's part of our group.
I know.
We don't see any of those islands in any of the books, any of the games, anything else. You had 4 other islands that are right there that we could have easily put that facility.
Yeah, why didn't they?
So why would you, if you're making the super giant mega hybrid to put in a park, why would you put it on an island, your facility on an island that's 700, 800 miles away in another ocean, as opposed to one of these 5 islands you own
that we all know about?
That's just a boat ride away.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. And also, in terms of the greater lore, all that cloning and stuff was happening on Isla Sorna after the company bought out InGen, who worked on Jurassic World. All that stuff was happening on Isla Sorna. And then they were transporting. And actually, the Spinosaurus was the first mutant dinosaur that they made from Jurassic Park 3. And then there's like another dinosaur called the Scorpius Rex, which they made, and that was the first incarnation of the Indominus Rex. So this whole island just like doesn't fit in the lore at all.
Yeah, I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. And I just don't follow that.
There's one other thing that it just hit me. Remember all the food, all the candy and all that stuff that was in the 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
It was all modern day stuff.
Yeah, that's been there for 17 years.
Yeah.
And yet...
Well, they keep it stocked. The guy comes in from Frito-Lay every month. And
they just never canceled the...
That's right. The order's still delivered. They're still paying it. So.
I didn't know that the generator kept coming on, but they never explained what powered the generator. Was it?
No, they did. They had a special power.
Thermal, volcanic activity under it.
That was what was creating all the power that was on the island.
Oh, which is what, because I knew it was about the steam and all it, but I didn't realize that was the power for the generator.
Yeah.
Which is how it worked in the books. I don't think they explained how that worked in the movies. They got rid of that, but that's how the park was operated in the books.
Oh, so they dug that out of there and read it. And I will also say I really enjoyed the T-Rex scene. I always liked the T-Rex.
Yeah.
And there was one part that bothered me in that scene, though, and that's when, and again, this is a minor spoiler alert, the little girl's beneath the raft, and the T-Rex is chewing at the raft, and he pushes his face in, and you see his teeth. I thought, that's so cool. But then he just pushes his face in and lifts it out. He doesn't chew or anything. He just puts his teeth on it, which is what my dog does. So I guess maybe that's the same kind of thing. Maybe, I don't know. It just seemed weird to me that you had this really cool visual of the teeth coming in, not ripping the rubber, just pushing into it. But then nothing moved or bit, or it was just kind of odd.
Yeah, my friends were always like, what was with that raft? Like, what was it made out of, like Wakanda material? Like, that thing didn't break. That thing was bit so many times.
Yes. Still a good scene, though.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Ripped straight from the books. I loved it. That was great.
Yeah.
It shows that dinosaurs can still be scary. Like, we don't need mutants anymore.
Yeah, agreed completely.
All in all, I thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
Highly recommended. It's doing really well at the box office, which means there will be more Jurassic movies coming.
But I will say, if they do this same formula again, I think I'll be upset.
Well, they can go anywhere they want. So hopefully, maybe they'll go back to Isla Nublar. What is it? Isla Nublar? Yeah.
I don't think I saw
Nibbler?
the one before this one, the last one before this one.
I liked it. Jeff did not.
Is that the one? Did they come to America with the dinosaurs?
That was part 2, wasn't it?
That.
Yeah.
Do you want to borrow them? I got them all.
I remember that one, but it's the one just before Rebirth. I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah, that was Dominion. And people hated it, and I know Jeff didn't like it. I watched it on a plane, and I thought, how can anybody not like this? And then I met Jeff, and I go, that's how. So.
Okay, which is the one where Pratt's character has with Blue? Remember that one?
Was that 3?
Which one?
The first one?
No, with Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
He did 1 or 2.
He did 3. Jurassic World 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I must have missed.
You got to remember there's Jurassic Park and there's Jurassic World, which confuses me all to get out because I always want to say Jurassic Park because I'm just used to saying Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park 4, 5, and 6.
There you go.
And how long before Universal changes, or they may already have? You remember the scene where they go to get the boat, the captain?
Sure.
That harbor thing?
Yep.
Hey, Universal's got to do that if they haven't already.
All I know is they put a tiki bar next to Jurassic Park ride, and I want to go.
Oh, yeah.
All right, finally, our last movie today is nothing, apparently, because John's interrupting
I'm
again.
Sorry. Now, Michael Crichton created Jurassic Park.
Yes, he wrote the books.
Speaking of books, if you've got...
We don't have time for that today. Faster. Talk faster.
R. Scott Bolton. Search R. Scott Bolton on Amazon.com and get his books. The latest is Bowling Bag in the Backseat. My favorite, as I always say, is Dead Dick. It's about a 1940s dead detective. And you get free delivery.
I can't believe I'm doing this for my commercial, but we got to go.
Anyway, Amazon.
All right, so finally, Superman opened this weekend, doing very well at the box office. Maybe a tad less than they hoped it would do, but still doing very well. Johnny and I went yesterday morning, and you saw it Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday. So we'll start with you, Jeff. What's your thoughts on Superman?
I thought it was great. I'm not a big DC Comics fan, and I've never really liked Superman at all.
Really?
Yeah, I've just never related to Superman.
Okay.
You know, guy from another planet comes, is unstoppable, like just at surface level. Unstoppable, can't be defeated, always wins. Like, okay, there's no real like
conflict
with him. There's nothing that I can relate to in his story, and even like the villain Lex Luthor, I never found interesting. He's just a guy. That being said, I wanted to see this movie because I wanted to see how James Gunn started the new DC universe, and all that went away. There was real humanity in Superman. I loved Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I thought he was great. And it really captured the hope and that, feeling of like, this guy can do anything. Like, he's going to be there to save everybody. Even when things don't look so good, like it just brought a humanity to him that like teared me up a couple of times.
Yeah.
And even, reusing John Williams' score, which I think was a genius move, because that's the one thing that I do remember from like those older movies, is because that's the feeling that John Williams' score gives you. Like, whether you like Superman or not, that you can agree that score
absolutely
that's encompasses what Superman should be. And I think, yeah, I just really loved the movie. I thought it was it was funny at times. It was great. It made me care about characters that I didn't care about or I didn't even know about, like Mr. Terrific. I thought was terrific.
Yeah,
that guy was great. I loved that character throughout the movie. Crypto the Super Dog. I thought it was great, and I don't see where all the hate is coming from.
I don't either. I don't understand. Johnny?
I agree. It's just, if anything, the only thing I really didn't care for was Green Lantern's haircut.
Well, but that's how it was in the comics. But there was a great line about that too. Thank God.
It was. And the Justice Gang.
Justice Gang.
Justice Gang.
Yeah.
No,
that's not us.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed that movie, and I can't remember in the other Superman movies, going all the way back to the Superman TV series with George Reeves, all the way to this one. It's going to be a spoiler alert.
Then don't say it, because that movie just opened.
Right.
Okay.
But I really, really enjoyed it. And you're right. The actor who played Lex Luthor,
he nailed it.
Yeah, yes, he did.
And, I agree with both of you guys. I thought it's probably my favorite movie of the year, maybe after Sinners, because Sinners is still just mind-blowing. And I'm not saying this is going to win Oscars or anything like that. It doesn't have to. It just had to deliver Superman. And it did. It gave us the Superman that we remember from the first Christopher Reeve movie, and even before that, but the Christopher Reeves movie really nailed the character down. He was charming. He wanted to help people. He had just true goodness in his heart. I mean, even when in the new movie, he saves a squirrel, for crying out loud. Yeah. That just tells you a lot about this superhero. He's not one of those superheroes like that destroys things or whatever. This guy just cares. He's not doing it because it's his job. He's doing it because he cares about the world. And that just was throughout the whole movie. The damn dog, who I laughed at when I first saw it, I thought, really, you're going to put a dog in a Superman movie? Stole my heart almost instantly. And the fact that he's not a good dog helped a lot too. And it just, the human relationship between Clark Kent, Superman, and Lois Lane felt so real. The chemistry was perfect between those two. And speaking of great, Rachel Brosnahan was brilliant as Lois Lane. It was everything I hoped for in a Superman movie, and it just delivered solidly. And I agree with you about the John Williams score 100%. I was talking to Josh about this the other day. How many movie franchises have survived solely because of a John Williams theme? The first 4 Superman movies that Christopher Reeves did got worse as they went along. But that damn score held them aloft. Even the ones that he didn't do, they still emulated his score, and it just lifts you up. It's if you didn't know that was from a Superman movie, that music would still lift you up.
Did John Williams do the score to Lesser Mohican?
No, he did not.
That's a great score too. So, okay, getting back to Superman.
So anyway, I also was very impressed with the special effects. I mean, the hardest thing to CGI is something that's real. You can CGI a dinosaur because nobody's actually seen a dinosaur running around, but you've seen a hippopotamus, and I've seen a CGI hippopotamus, and it's a CGI hippopotamus. And the dog, a lot of times you were aware it was a CGI dog, but a lot of times you weren't. And that tells you a lot about what they've done there. And then the scene in the Nebula River, whatever it was, should have been terrible effects, but they weren't. They were really, really good. And I just loved everything about it. Like I said, it's my favorite movie of the year. My wife wants to go see it now, so I'm glad to go back and see it again. It's just everything a Superman movie should be. It was funny, it was realistic, and it was just filled with hope. And again, he's just a good guy. You know, it's the kind of guy that you want looking over the world. So I can't say enough good about it. And I did a little tweet. I said it's a 10 out of 10 if you're a dog person, 9 out of 10 if you're not. So
when you go see this movie, and I really, really hope you do go see the movie in a movie theater. Yeah. I liked the ending. Before the credits roll, there's a surprise.
Yes.
At the end of the credits, there's 3 surprises. The ending before the credits roll, the ending where Superman and Mr.
Terrific
are standing outside that.
Is that right? Terrific.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Terrific. Standing outside the building.
Yes.
And then the very last scene. At the end of the credits, you have to see.
Yeah, sit all the way through it, because John and I were the only ones in the theater when it ended.
It's weird to me that people don't know that by now to stay. I mean, especially for a superhero movie, I stay through every movie now because everybody's picked up on the end credits thing.
Right. I kind of cheat. I look it up sometimes.
Yeah, like for non-superhero movies, I always just, as soon as the credits start rolling, just, okay, I'll stay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have to stay, but I usually stay anyways, but
I love those. I don't know who created those, but I love post credit and mid credit sequences. And Superman had 2 great ones.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, do you remember back in the old Burt Reynolds movies, the Race Across America movies?
Cannonball Run.
Yeah. During the credits, they would show outtakes.
Yes.
I wonder if that's what started.
I'm sure it was part of that. Yeah. But I just love those, and I love this movie so much, and I hope people go to see it. And I'm with you 100%. I don't understand anybody who hates this because of what it's about. Then you're just an idiot. I'm sorry. There's no 2 ways about it.
I came really close to, after watching this movie, going ahead and buying that dog holding.
He was gonna. Have you seen the popcorn bucket?
No.
It's Crypto holding a popcorn bucket in his teeth, and that's where they put the popcorn. And it's yay big. It's also $45, I think.
No, it's 40.
$40.
$39.99.
So we walked out of the theater, and John had seen it before. He goes, "No way, I'm spending $40 on that." Finished the movie. He goes, "I'm going to go buy that." It was sold out.
Yeah, that was so quick. Yeah.
I'm glad to see. We went to the 9:30 show, and we were first. It was private screening, just the 2 of us. I thought, well, that's not good. By the time the movie started, there was about half full. Yeah. So it's doing well, and people need to go. You know, I hope that Gunn ends up saving the DC universe. And based on this, based on this, he gets it, because he knows that Superman character better. I would say this is the best Superman movie. Yeah. And that's tough for some people to swallow, because Christopher Reeves, who was terrific in the first one, got significantly worse as it went along. But I think this is the best one, because it just truly captured who Superman is supposed to be.
And like, he knows the comics too, and he's able to put those things into the comics, or from the comics into the movies, and just make sense, make it feel like you're reading a comic book, which I think is an important part.
Yeah.
I feel like, people are upset just because they like the Zack Snyder verse and stuff like that, which I don't know why people are still holding on to that. But yeah, it's a great movie. I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I do hope they're going to make another one. And that one thing I was talking about at the end before the credits roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that one too.
Well, we'll find out about that soon.
But yeah, I really, really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, it's terrific.
Of all the movies we reviewed today, would you guys give a thumbs up to all of them?
No.
Which one would you want?
Megalopolis.
Okay. Other than that,
Yes, all the other ones I would. Wouldn't you, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of movies in theaters, and I feel like last year was a terrible year for movies.
I agree.
That you could throw a dart at a board and you'd hit a terrible movie that was just a waste of money. This year, I've been to the movie theaters about 20 sometimes. I don't think I've seen a bad movie yet, and that's surprising to me. I've enjoyed, to some level of degree, every movie that I've seen.
Yeah.
I didn't see Snow White or Lilo and Stitch, so don't tell me that.
Well, the ones you've seen, though. And
seen.
that's what I'm so excited about this year. I think it was in February or March. I was looking at the schedule of movies to be released, and I realized there's a movie I want to see every single week, sometimes two in the same week. And that's just so exciting for me. I mean, on my Cinemark app, I'm only 6 visits away from being a platinum member. So.
Yeah, I have that message too. Like, you're really, really close.
Yeah. And it's fun that, you know, I always said that when I retired and I was going to go to the movies more often. And when I first retired, I didn't. I just lazed around and did stuff. But now I'm forcing myself to go. And now with Josh coming, being right next door, he and I went to see 28 years later.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. And, you know, I've been made him going twice a week, and I'm okay with that. There's nothing like going to a movie theater. Truly isn't. All right, folks, we got to get out of here. We will see you next week. I have lunch with Mark Gottlieb coming up. Mark is the director of what we decided it was. Mecha Ape versus Lizard, or yeah, he makes a lot of those movies for the Sci-Fi Channel for Asylum Pictures, and so I'm looking forward to talking to him about just stuff. He's a friend of a friend, so we're all going out to lunch. So I'm looking forward to talking to Mark. I should get Mark on the show one day. That'd be fun to have on the show if we could get all the freaking cameras to work. Which apparently Jeff may have a solution for us, and now we're going to give it a shot. Anyway, we'll figure it all out. Thank you again for watching. Thanks for listening. If you were listening and didn't see the photos, just Google the stuff that you hear us talk about, and the photos come up right away, because I usually steal the first picture. I usually borrow the first picture that comes up first. I don't appropriate. I just borrow. Yeah, like commandeer. Yeah, something like that. But until then, we will have a show next week, because I'll be back from Vegas Friday morning. So we can do a show next week, too.
Back to Superman, one thing that surprised me, most of these superhero movies you see and all that, the lead actor is most of the time from the UK. Not this Superman.
Like Christopher Reeves. He was obviously from the United Kingdom. And
I'm talking about lately.
I don't know about the other guys. I thought they were all, you know, it doesn't matter. As long as they can act the part, that's all I really care about.
That's true. And I thoroughly enjoyed it.
You know, one more thing real quick. I like that they're tailoring trailers now to the movies. Did you notice with F1 that they would mention the movie in the trailer, in the ads? That one credit company or bank or whatever it was. You're going to see a lot of this logo in the F1 coming up next. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then in Superman, did you see the Frank Drebin?
Oh, yes, I did see that.
So they have Frank Drebin, Liam Neeson from Naked Gun, talking about Superman. Oh, you're here to see Superman and the Man of Steel. Well, I'm a Man of Steel, or whatever you say it. And that's on my list too. August 1st, Naked Gun.
He started doing it as the character from they played in Taken.
He did?
Yeah. If you listen to when he first started his dialogue, that's what I was thinking. And then he got into the Naked Gun character.
I think you're mistaken, sir. I think it was Frank Drebin all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Drebin Jr. We got to make sure we point that out. All right, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. No, we'll see you next week. The other shows are a couple of weeks. Anything else?
Yeah, go to your local theaters, whether it's a chain theater or a mom and pop theater. Go to the movie theaters.
Excellent advice, Jeff. You got 40s and 50s stuff to talk about. We'll talk about it next week.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I'll try to watch some old movies too. And you should do the same. Just go to YouTube. You can find virtually dozens, hundreds of old movies in their entirety.
If you got a DVD player, if you got movies, I got movies. Maybe borrow movies.
Yeah.
I don't know how you.
I loan my movies out, but I take a $20 deposit.
Oh, I don't think.
All right, folks. We'll see you next week.
Like I said, go to the movies.
Okay. Good idea. Bye.
Bye.
Brought to you by The Grape, Ventura County's premier jazz venue and cocktail lounge, located at 2733 East Main Street in Ventura. For menu and music schedule, visit them online at thegrape.club. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.